Welcome to Blue Talks.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is an honor to be here at the University of Alberta with all of you today. I own a dog daycare and dog training business, as well as I run a nonprofit that provides and trains service dogs for veterans and first responders. Now, first glance, doesn't seem like it fits, right? Trauma coach, dog trainer, but hang in with me, because once you hear the story, it'll all make sense. So I didn't get here with a 5-year plan or a Pinterest board full of daily affirmations. I got here by survival, by crashing, and then by crawling my way out of the hole that life had dug for me, one breakdown at a time. There was no turning point. There was no magic cinematic movie. I just had to survive. And so I'm still here today. But let me take you back. 14 years ago, I was alone, newly divorced for the second time, and I had no safety net. I was broke, had no idea what I was doing, until I remembered I'd always had a connection with animals. They just seemed to get me. And I thought, I've always felt safer with dogs, safer than I ever did with people, so screw it, I'm gonna get a dog. And everybody told me no. They're too much responsibility. You're too unstable. You need to take care of yourself. Cool, love that for me. But here's what you need to know. When somebody tells me no, I go harder. So I walked into our local shelter, and there he was, 110 pounds of muscle and mayhem. A big red dog with a sign on his kennel that said, "Do not approach, do not touch, see shelter manager." And immediately I was like, that's mine. That's the one for me. His name wasn't Clifford. It was Thunder, and I didn't name him, but looking back, it really definitely fit. So I went to the shelter manager, and she said, we can't adopt him. He's too dangerous, too aggressive. He's just a liability. And to boot, he was scheduled to be put down 3 days from then. I said, I want him. They said no. Remember what I said a minute ago about telling me no? So I begged them, just give him a little more time. Let me try. Give me a chance. And somehow, and today I still have no idea how I did it, I convinced them to give him a stay of execution. So I went back twice a day for 2 weeks, and I just sat outside his kennel. No pressure, just presence. And little by little, over those 2 weeks, I was able to quietly interact with him, showing the shelter manager that there was a shift, that there was progress. And honestly, I don't know if they were just sick of seeing my face or if they really saw some progress, but they agreed to let me take him home. Holy smokes. That dog was a disaster. No training, no trust, no chill. And if I'm being honest, that described both of us back then. And then came the moment. I was in the kitchen making a coffee. Thunder was laying across the room just watching me, and I dropped a tea towel. That's it, one tea towel. And I collapsed, hyperventilating, sobbing, couldn't breathe, couldn't hold it in anymore. Everything that had been barely held together snapped. And Thunder, he didn't run, he wasn't scared, he didn't bark, he just got up, came over and laid that big, giant head of his in my lap. And he showed up for me the way I showed up for him, quietly, patiently. Presence, no pressure. And right there on that kitchen floor, I realized something. If I was going to keep this dog, if I was going to build a life with this creature, I needed to figure my shit out. So I did what I always do when I'm overwhelmed and underqualified. I became obsessed. I poured every ounce of energy, time, and money I didn't have into learning everything I could about dogs. Not just how to teach sit, but why they behave the way they do. How to build trust, how to regulate their nervous system, how to work with dogs who have trauma. And it was just life-altering for both of us. What I didn't realize then was the deeper I got into dog training, the more I figured out that I wasn't just learning to work with dogs, I was learning to work with people too. I'd be working with clients, and without meaning to, I'd be helping them with themselves, because we weren't just working obedience. The work we were doing was about trust, communication, patience, and learning to stay in it even when it's hard. Thunder taught me that too. That boy taught me a lot. So those moments, those are the moments that didn't just change me, it shaped everything that came after. They're the reason I started training dogs, my dog training business. They're the reason I started working with veterans and first responders, people who know what it's like to carry trauma in their bones and still show up every single day. Thunder taught me that too. So, we place dogs with veterans, first responders, and they're not just pets. They are highly trained with life-altering tasks, like interrupting panic attacks, grounding during flashbacks, waking during night terrors, and even creating space in overwhelming crowds. These dogs don't just change lives, they save them. They give people a way to stay. And I know, not because I'm a first responder, not because I am a soldier, but because I've lived through something that wouldn't let me go and still survived. And I know what it's like to have a dog be the one thing that tethers you to this world when everything else seems impossible. So, if you take anything from this story today, let it be this. First of all, you don't have to have a 5-year plan to start healing. You just need one thing, one thread to hold on to. For me, it was thunder, but for you, it might be a person, a purpose, or simply the fact that you haven't given up yet. Secondly, you're not broken. You're unraveled. And that's okay, because in the unraveling is where you discover what was never yours to carry in the first place. And third, if anything I've said today has moved you, do something with it. Donate to a service dog program, support your local shelter, volunteer, foster, or take 5 minutes and go sit next to a dog that's been labeled too much. Because you don't know what that moment, what that healing could unlock for them and for you. Thank you.